Continue while being here to read.
Okay. All right. So the next question is about sitting meditation. I can sit long without moving, without feeling any pain. But when I end the meditation, I could feel the needling sensation of blood circulation, and will take a while to regain the control of my legs. So the question is, do you still experience this as an advanced yogi, or the numbness will completely go away at a certain stage?
Actually, there are many things available inside the body. I mean, you don't need to particularly see only that part. So whatever available, you can see. So as you said, blood circulation may be possible to recognize. Heart vibration may be possible to recognize. Breathing process possible to recognize. Rising and falling possible to recognize. And maybe various pains, aches may be there. Still you can recognize. So, I mean, many things are available. So you can choose what is most prominent. And you can start with what is most prominent. Later, if such prominent things are not available, even then you can go for subtle things. No harm. I mean, we don't need to give any particular preference to this and that. But thing is, if something is prominent and easy to handle, then you can prefer that.
I think the question is more related to during the sitting meditation, do you really overcome the numbness of the legs?
Overcome?
Do you?
Overcome.
Yeah.
No, thing is, numbness can happen when we are keeping the legs maybe little tight so that the blood circulation does not happen smoothly. So that would be the reason. So, I mean, when you are sitting cross-legged for a long time, so maybe you are keeping one leg on top of the other, so the bottom leg can feel numb. But you might have to change the posture in order to avoid that. So the numbness usually we don't need to take as a, as a phenomena to look at. You can do that, but it can be avoided.
Can be avoided.
I mean, if it is happening because of this reason that you are keeping your leg on top of the other leg for long time, if the numbness happen, it could be uncomfortable. So then you can change the posture to the other side.
Okay.
So it's kind of a practical thing. I mean, it's not that you have to rigidly for 1 hour, you have to maintain like this strictly. Not necessary. I mean, you are free to do minor adjustments mindfully.
Okay, so Bande, for you still adjust your postures during the meditation?
Can.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Thing is, I mean, if you are doing it frequently, it can, disturb.
Okay.
But you have to maintain your posture at least for, say, it depends on you. At the beginning, it is difficult. At the beginning, even after 10 minutes, you feel like you need to change the posture. But after some time, in the sense that, say, after several months of practice, you now can maintain your posture, say, 20 minutes without change. After some time, say, 30 minutes without change. But assume now you can maintain yourself for 30 minutes without change. At that time, say you are kind of taking a decision, okay, I'm not going to change it for 1 hour. That's too much. Because that you can reach only half an hour, then you can change the posture at half an hour because that's more practical. It's not torturing you. We don't need to torture us during the meditation.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
So basically, I mean, it's stretching ourselves step by step, moment by moment, bit by bit.
So slowly you can sit longer.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, I mean, at the beginning, say I can maintain my posture for 15 minutes. No problem. Next time, after 1 month, okay, I can maintain it for 20 minutes. Another 1 month, say 30 minutes. Another 1 month, say 40 minutes. So likewise, you can stretch it bit by bit.
All right.
Yeah.
Got it. The next question is about walking meditation. The question is why there's a strong emphasis on the walking meditation. I heard of one Ajahn said, walking meditation can never achieve jhana or nibbana.
So basically, that is basically that that going against the teaching of the Buddha. So Buddha has recommended all four postures. Say, Gachanto, Nisinno, Tito, Sayano. All four postures are there. So in any posture you can, say, develop your insights, you can have your insights. Even higher achievements are possible. I'll ask you a question. Now there's an interesting story happened with respect to Venerable Ananda. Who is Venerable Ananda? He's the attendant to the Buddha, right? Have you heard about him? So it's a very, say, popular story. So during when Buddha was alive, he only achieved the stream entry. He was a Sotapanna. And then Buddha passed away, and now the first council is going to happen. You know the first council, the first Sanghayana, going to happen. Now 500 monks were selected. Only 499 selected except Venerable Ananda. Why he was not selected? He was not yet an Arahant. Right. Now assume that tomorrow will be the starting or the beginning of the council. Still Venerable Ananda is not an Arahant. So he is trying hard to become an Arahant. So he was trying walking, he was trying sitting, trying walking, trying sitting, couldn't. So ultimately what happened? He gave up. He gave up and better go to sleep. So before going to sleep, before you are straight, in between he became an enlightened. So which posture is that? So basically, the posture doesn't matter really, So it depends on you. So if you are more comfortable in sitting and that is where you are developing more insights, then you prefer sitting. If for you it is walking and if you feel more comfortable, you feel more relaxed and you are getting more insights in walking, then it is for you. And for another person, maybe even lying down, another person may be standing. So many postures are available. So feel free to use what is convenient. So you don't need to strictly say, okay, only sitting is necessary. That is the must. Nothing else is possible. That's taking an extreme.
By looking at the question, am I right to say that you are not able to achieve jhana by using the walking meditation, but nibbana can?
So what you need? Jhana or nibbana? So if I ask you a question, so this is a kind of a debating question. Now, so some people prefer strictly saying, okay, jhana is a must, and that is also samatha jhana. The jhana based on the tranquility meditation. The another side is that jhana is not a must, and you can achieve enlightenment without jhana. Now, there are various interesting stories. Now, say for example, one monk called Venerable Susima. His name is Venerable Susima. So, actually he belonged to a different tradition. And he is actually an ajivaka. He is a wandering ascetic. And when Buddha and the Sangha was thriving, growing, so these ajivakas didn't get enough gain, support. So they have a plan. So what is their plan? So they are proposing Venerable Susima, okay, you go and ordain under the Buddha. And you better learn the Dhamma under the Buddha and the Sangha. Then you disrobe and come to our side. Then you preach the same thing. Then the people start supporting us also. That's the deal. Okay, now Venerable Susima go and he became a monk and he is learning Dhamma. And now he understands, okay, many monks come and say in front of the Buddha, they declare, okay, I am an Arahant. So Venerable Susima was a little, puzzled about it. So he approached one of those monks, and he is asking, do you have the ability to look at your past lives? Then the Arahant say, no, can't. Do you have the ability to read others' minds? The Arahant say, no. Do you have the ability to attain Arupa Jhana? No. Are you really an Arahant? So it happened again and again. Okay, now Venerable Susima was quite puzzled because he was thinking, so all the Arahants have to have all these extraordinary skills, all the psychic powers, the ability to read past lives, to attain jhana. Everything should be possible. Now he approached the Buddha. So he asked the question from the Buddha. So the Buddha is giving an answer. Okay, first you have to attain what you call the Dhammattiti Jnana. So you have to arrive the knowledge of the Dhamma. Then from that onwards you can work towards further understanding realities, then you can become enlightened. So basically Susima didn't understand that, the Buddha's answer. Then Buddha gave an explanation based on Vipassana. And ultimately at the end of the discourse, so Susima himself became an Arahant. Important thing, he didn't have the ability to look at the past lives. He didn't have the ability to attain the jhana. But he is an Arahant. So therefore, jhana, I would say if one can do it, one can attain it, you can take it as a blessing. But if you are strictly saying, okay, it's a must and you have to stay there for long time, say 1 hour, you should be able to be there. So then you are taking it too much in a way. Only thing is, now say for example, so assume that you are practicing Vedananupassana. I am taking one example. So many feelings are there. So in order for you to look at feelings clearly, you need fair amount of concentration, fair amount of clarity of your mind, focus, attention. If you have that, successful in that, then you can understand, okay, the nature of the feelings evident to you. Say how they are arising, how they are changing, how they are passing away. It is not a single feeling, it's a group of feelings. So all the nature, all the characteristics of the feeling become more and more evident to you. So that means you have fair amount of concentration. Necessary amount of concentration is available to you. So that is because the idea is to develop the insights. Insights are the ones actually helping you to overcome defilements. So overcoming defilements is the path to attain what we desire. So Sotapanna, Sakadagami, all that are abandoning various levels of defilements. So those are the understandings that we are trying to achieve. So jhana is another, another area, if you like. It's a temporary that you can be there, you can dwell there, you can enjoy that. So that's a bonus.
Okay, understood. So in the layman term, we just need to realize the truth of the reality to become enlightened, become arahant. Jhana is a byproduct.
Byproduct, or you can say, now assume like that. Now, while you are going on a long journey, say there are various hotels available in between. So if you have a lot of money, if you have a lot of time, so you can spend some time in the hotel and you can spend some money and you can enjoy. Another person, he is more concerned about ending the journey. So he don't waste his time while being at the hotels. So he just quickly go on to the destination. Which one you prefer?
Faster.
Well, it's up to you.
Understood. Thank you, Bande. The next question is about sleeping. My sitting meditation is more focused compared to yesterday as I slept earlier and more alert. In walking meditation, I kept reminding myself to do it slowly, mindfully, and silently. Bande, in order to have a good sleep, what should be my object of meditation as my mind is active and gives me insomnia?
So that means you can't sleep? So it can happen actually. It can happen because if you are too enthusiastic, so you are too stern in your practice, really extremely enthusiastic, then even at night you can't fall asleep. So it happened to me when I started. So I went through many difficulties, many issues. So it's a kind of a balance that we need to find out. So actually for us to fall asleep, we have to reduce mindfulness while at the bed. So assume that now it's 11 p.m. Now you need to fall asleep, but you are very sharp. Your mind is very sharp. you can't fall asleep. So better you wake up and if there is a fair amount of tension in your mind, you can't fall asleep. So if you are too enthusiastic, you can't fall asleep. If there are various doubts in your mind, you can't fall asleep. If you are angry with someone, you can't fall asleep. So many things are there. Now, on such occasion, rather than trying hard while on the bed, you can get up and simply go outside and look around, and maybe you can look far away objects in the sky. So it will release your tension in the mind. Pent up energy in your mind, it might release. And just have some relaxed walking, coming back to yourself. You can recognize if the tension being released by yawning. The yawning can happen when the tension being released. Then come back slowly at your, be in on the bed, and then you may fall asleep. And do it in a relaxed manner, because if you are too enthusiastic, definitely you can't fall asleep.
Understood. Actually, can I share my best practice? I keep a journal. So if I have too much thought, I write on my journal, I talk to myself, and after that, I feel relief. So can sleep
because
well.
You may be correct, because if we are holding things in our mind, it's difficult. We have to remember them, we have to implement them, and it become a burden. But if you are writing it or telling someone, just throw it away, done.
Okay, thank you. Next question is very practical. How would mindfulness apply to those associates who do bad behaviors to you?
I didn't get the question.
So how the mindfulness can be applied to those organizations who do the bad things to you?
Bad things? Bad things to you?
Yeah.
To the organizations?
The organization do bad things to yourself. How to deal with those? Colleagues, can be company, can be association, can be temple. Anything, any association.
Any association, they are harming you?
They are doing some bad things.
Bad things to you?
Yeah.
So you want to apply mindfulness to them?
To yourself, to manage those bad behaviors to yourself? By reading the question, I interpret this way.
So weird questions are there. So why are you going to associate in the first place? Now assume that there's an organization, and if that organization is obviously doing something bad to you, then why are you going there? Isn't it? You just neglect them.
Yeah, the follow-up question is, what are your recommendations for those practices on mindfulness regularly? So, if let's say the associates are not being kind to you, so how do you apply mindfulness, and how do you have mindfulness, a regular practice of mindfulness that can help you to sort of...
Being with that organization?
Yeah, being in the organization, being with the associates, people...
No, if it is a must for you to be with them, if it's a must for you to associate with them, you can maintain some patience, some endurance, and while being there, you have to be somewhat mindful, because otherwise you also become quite angry, you become impulsive, reactive, that might aggravate the situation. And on the other hand, if it is not a must to be with them, just, no need to associate at all. So Buddha mentioned, asevanacha balana, panditanancha sevana. So if you understand, certain people, by associating them, so my sila may reduce, my concentration reduce, my panya reduce, they are not giving any motivation for me to practice. So instead they are, telling me the bad things, then why are we associating? We can drop them.
Bante, the next question is on sitting meditation. So when we are at the retreat, the Bante is able to guide us here, and I am able to know how to start. At home, I sort of don't really know how to start. I start by taking a deep breath. I used to chant but now I just take a deep breath and start my meditation. Is it that any method is possible to start?
Yeah, I mean, chanting, different methods are there. I mean, if you prefer little short chanting and let's help you to calm down, relax, and again make your mind joyful, happy, you can follow that, no problem. And then, by the way, come to the body. So the coming back to your body is a must. Because in Satipatthana practice, as much as possible, the body becomes our kind of a refuge. It's a kind of an ordinary object, very ordinary experience, but it is a must to be with our body. So chanting and thinking, or we can say other types of meditation like say metta, buddhanusati. So those kinds of meditations are useful as a preparations to the mind. You have heard about guardian meditations, the 4 guardian meditations. Metta, buddhanusati, marananusati, asubha. So they are called the guardian meditations, Chaturarakha Bhavana. So you can practice them in a short way, in a short period. But the prominence has to be given to the Satipatthana. Prominence has to be given to the mindfulness practice. So for example, if you are practicing 1 hour, you can spend 10 minutes to prepare the mind if necessary. Say for example, currently your mind become very agitated and you are not happy, restless, then immediately starting with Anapanasati might be difficult. On such occasion, probably you can do a little chanting, maybe Buddhanusati type of chanting. It again makes you quite happy, calm. Then you can start Anapanasati. You can start Kayanupassana. On the other hand, assume that you are not happy, you are angry, certain resentful thoughts are there in the mind. Then immediately starting Anapanasati also might not work. On such situation, you can practice a little bit of metta, loving kindness or Buddhanusati. That helps. And then again you can, once the mind has settled, you can switch back to Kayanupassana, Anapanasati like meditation.
Bhante, the next question is on sitting meditation. What can we do when the leg pain becomes disturbing and attention is shifted to trying to overcome the pain? I cannot focus on my breath unless the leg pain is reduced or gone. Any method to handle this situation? Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, I think we already discussed. So one thing is, I mean, you can change the posture obviously, but doing that you have to do mindfully. So 2 options are there. Now assume that you are watching the breath. So while keeping your attention on the breath, in the background you can change the posture. So you have maintained your attention at the breath. At the background you do the posture change. So you maintaining your attention. The other option is, assume that the pain is there, so you change your focus to the pain instead of the breath. So you were with the breath, you shift your attention to the pain. So while watching the pain, slowly you change the posture. Then what happened to the pain? It may reduce and it may disappear. Now you can return back to the breath. So that way actually you are not disturbing the process. You are either way is all right. So you can maintain your attention on the breathing and you can change the posture in a slow way in the background. So you are consistent in your practice. Or else you can shift your attention to the pain. While observing the pain, you can change your posture. It will reduce and then you can return back to the breath. Both are all right.
The next question, Bhante. I understand why effort is required and the stimuli of a driving manual car is very useful. I understand effort needs to be balanced with concentration. But my question is, why is it too much concentration no good? I thought that our goal is to achieve one-pointedness. Please enlighten me. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah, actually too much concentration is also not good. I fully agree. That's why, it is not that I am against concentration or against jhana. So don't take to that end. So you can enjoy jhana, you can be with the concentration, but knowing the limit. So that's why, so all these things have certain amount of a limit, except mindfulness. So among the 5 factors, among the 5, faculties, so wisdom and faith have to be balanced, as we discussed yesterday, and the effort and the concentration have to be balanced. Mindfulness is kind of a continuous thing, can be available. That's why there are suttas like in the Bojjhanga, talking about the enlightenment factors. Buddha particularly mentioned the mindfulness enlightenment factor you can have as much as you like. There is no any particular limit. But all other enlightenment factors belong to two groups. One group in a way activates the mind. The other group calms down the mind. So how many enlightenment factors are there? How many? 7 enlightenment factors. Okay, if mindfulness is taken out, how many available now? 6 available. Now among these 6, 3 belongs to the activation part, activation side. Another 3 belongs to the calming down side. Dhammavichaya, Piti, Viriya, so they are the activation part. Dhammavichaya, the investigation in enlightenment factor. Piti, the rapture, and the effort, Viriya. So these 3 actually activate in the mind. It activates the mind. On the other hand, Passaddhi, Samadhi, Upekha. Passaddhi is the tranquility, Samadhi is the concentration, Upekha is the equanimity. So these 3 enlightenment factors calms down, relax. So which one you need? Which group you need? Which group? Activation group or tranquility group? Both needed in a balanced way. Okay, that's the point. So the activity group also should be there. This tranquility group also should be there in a proper balanced way. If you feel more active, less tranquility, then you become agitated. Your mind ultimately becomes restless. Say, if you feel more relaxed, more calm, more tranquil without activation, what happens? You fall asleep. So these 2 groups have to be well balanced. So who is the one recognizing which one is up, which one is down? Who is the one recognizing? That is a mindfulness. That's the point. So the mindfulness is the one, having the overall idea, overall observation of the whole thing, status of the mind. It will tell you, okay, now this part is good, this part is less, this part is high. So that is the presence of the mind, has to be always available. And then accordingly you need to do balancing, refinements, adjustments. Yeah.
Next question, Bhante. Sometimes my body will move slowly and involuntarily when I am in sitting meditation. The body just moves by itself. Do I stop it?
No, you don't need to stop. Little movements can happen. It is not abrupt movements. Say, a little bit of swaying can happen. Say, while you are observing the breathing or rising and falling or any other phenomena, a little bit of movement can happen. If it is not disturbing, you can continue. But one important thing is, if you are into too concentrated state, that concentration, if it is overwhelming, then it can, change the posture. Even you can, go like this and stretching and all that. So that means you have crossed the limit of the concentration. So the concentration has to be managed in a way. So if it is too much concentration, it can very much like overwhelm the body. It can manipulate the body. That is going too far. Not good.
This is for sitting meditation. At first, there is tightness in my body. As I relax the body by being mindful, the tightness goes away. Without the painful sensation, I direct my mindfulness to my breath. However, before long, the mind started drifting and self-create. Frustrated, the mind noticed the pain or the tightness again. I have to start again. After repeated such setbacks, the mind starts to have doubt. Is this normal? How do we overcome this stage?
I think you already done that. So you have observed everything. you were able to manage, and ultimately you were succeeded. So these things are possible. In a particular day, some days, certain thoughts are too much. So you need to calm down, relax, overcome them, and calm down. And another day, very good. No much thoughts, no inner chatter. You are very relaxed, so you can continue. So, we can't expect very perfect situation every day. So today, if you find a perfect situation, next day, complete restlessness. That's the way it is. It's like our life. Say it's ups and downs every time. Meditation is the same.
This report is in the same vein, Bhante. The distracting mind is very strong today, even for me as a regular meditator. I've tried ways to bring my awareness back to my primary object. It will still slip away. Am I trying too hard? Is there an effective way to center the mind and calm the running thoughts?
Yeah, actually that's why. If you are sitting and trying hard to tame the mind, it would be difficult. So you become somewhat release the thoughts to the outside. So basically that is where the nature is quite helpful. So if you have a garden, just walk in the garden. So being with the nature. And if you have a ground which is so just without any concrete or anything, just ground yourself with barefoot. All the stress will be fairly released. Because nowadays actually we are going away from the nature. We are modernizing things, many artificial things are there. So that is further, stress the mind. But if you have a large garden and you can simply walk in that, and probably if it is night, you can look at the sky, the stars or the moon, and like that, it's a more natural way that we are connecting with the nature. So then, mostly, that your mind becomes relaxed, calm, and then you can start sitting. So don't immediately try sitting. So sometimes people think, meditation is a sitting meditation. I have to sit the cross leg, I have to close my eyes, I have to maintain the perfect posture. So that's the attitude we have. So we need to find out what are the strategies to, release this tension and come back, calm down, maintain a balanced mind. Then sit, happy, joyful. Then mind get concentrated.
This is the same person. Sometimes we have to work on ourselves through ethical conduct and mindfulness in order to be able to help others. Bhante, may I ask, how do we practice loving kindness and compassion on ourselves? Many of us put too much pressure and expectation on ourselves. How can we practice right loving kindness and compassion on ourselves without inflating our ego?
Without?
Inflating our ego.
Without inflating our ego. So actually, understanding ego is one part of the Vipassana practice. So where we create an ego, where I-making happens, where mind-making happens, where the conceit happens. So that's a very interesting area of the Vipassana practice. So, in the loving kindness, to whom are you first spreading love? Starting with whom? Starting with ourselves, isn't it? So you need to, forgive yourself, accept your faults. I'm trying my hard to correct myself, have some kind of a sympathy about yourself, self-compassion about yourself, accept yourself. So, these are all, sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. We have very strict rules on ourselves. And that sometimes be a burden. But rather than doing that, I am another human being. I have certain limitations. I can't help everyone. I can't make things perfect. I have certain limitations. So we can accept that. Forgive ourselves. If I have made certain mistakes, so I am keep on accusing myself. At one level, at one kind of an occasion, I have to admit that I made a mistake. I'm ready to correct myself. So that is the path. So that now sometimes, say for example, even monks assume that if we make a mistake, so Buddha say, you go to another monk, confess it. You confess it honestly, Bhante, I made this mistake. please forgive me. And then he will tell you, okay, don't do it again. I mean, this is the Vinaya, this is the monastic rule. You better adhere to that. You better pay attention to that. Then yes, I'm ready to do that. So kind of, we are human beings. So therefore we can admit our own faults, we can accept our own faults with an honest attitude, okay, I'm going to further develop. So therefore none of us are perfect. So therefore admit ourselves and proceed.
This is for walking meditation. During walking meditation, I sometimes try walking in different ways. For example, I try the legs landing on the heel, the legs landing on the sole. I walk faster, I walk slower to see the different body sensation. Is this approach okay?
If you are really boring and kind of really lethargic, you can experiment like that. But see, everything happens smoothly. Then let the thing happen more naturally. So don't do much changes. Because we all know how to walk. It's a quite ordinary way of walking. So let the ordinary way of walking happens, because if you are exerting too much effort, that's also not going to work. Now that very first lady, she mentioned now, even though sensations are there, now mind is not interested of looking at them. It doesn't mean that we first didn't do that. We first do that. We were careful about it. We were investigating them. We are understanding their true nature. So that have fair amount of time we have spent that. So later, slowly, so the mind withdraws from that observation. So at that time, we should not push the mind to go and observe. So you can do that only when the effort is balanced. So as much as possible, maintaining a ordinary posture, very natural posture, natural pace would be much better. But on the other hand, if you are feeling really lethargic and you don't much feel doing it, then changing might be good. Say, making it a little fast pace you are doing it, or you are even walking to the backside, that is also possible, just to have a change. Otherwise, you maintain the natural posture.
This is for walking meditation. At the end of the walking distance, is there any rule to turn which direction? Towards the left or the right?
Typically, we say it's the clockwise. Typically, it is clockwise. But, there is no hard and fast rule.
Are we supposed to, this is a sitting meditation question, are we supposed to focus only on one object, such as in-breath and out-breath, and treat others as distractions, such as heart beating, blood vessels beating, leg pain, back pain? Or are we supposed to scan the whole body regularly to observe all these changes?
It depends on you actually. At the beginning, if you are trying to observe everything, you can't develop focus attention. Because you are not sharpening the mindfulness, you are not sharpening the concentration. Because sharpening the concentration is one part of the practice. But later, once fair amount of sharpness is available, you can make use of any phenomena. You don't need to restrict yourself only to the breathing. You can observe many phenomena available because you have the capacity. You know how to do. Whatever the sensation available, you can quickly position your attention, you can observe that, you are learning from that. Another object is there, now you position your attention to that, you are learning from that. It depends on our capacity. At the beginning, if we are trying to do that, we get distracted. Because at the beginning, we are too much of hindrances are available, very difficult. But later, when the hindrances are less and you have the capacity to focus your attention to any phenomena, you can observe any phenomena. Even not only the bodily phenomena, even you can watch your mind, no harm. Because anyway, we are working on the 4 foundations of mindfulness.
The next question is, when we do mindful activities, we are advised to give full attention to the activity. So, is multitasking discouraged?
Yeah, multitasking. So this is another interesting area. There are interesting research actually found on multitasking. So if you are jumping or switching from many tasks very quickly, it is harmful to your brain. So these are recent research findings. Say, it may be true that we have a lot of things to attend, and you are jumping, say, spending just 1 minute on one task, then quickly jump to another task, quickly jump to another task, quickly jump to another task. It's a burden to the mind. It's harmful to the mind. So the advice says, spend a fair amount of time on one task, and once you reach a kind of a milestone, then switch to the other. So assume that you are spending at least 5 minutes in one task, and then you are paying enough attention, you are fully with it, you are paying 100% of yourself with that task. Not only a part of the brain, but the full brain is into that task. Then after coming to some level, then you switch to the other thing. Then that also you are doing wholeheartedly, not partially, doing it wholeheartedly. And then again you switch to another task. So rather than superficially switching to many tasks, so be with a particular task for a considerable time, then switch to the other task. So that would be more beneficial, not harmful, and again more efficient.
This is for daily life meditation. Many times I use my kids as my primary object to contemplate that they are impermanent, they will outgrow, they will get maimed in future, might even die before me. The dukkha that arises in me if that happens, it is not mine to hold on to. I let them be, but enjoy their current laughter and kisses. Is this the correct reflection? Will it make me distant from everyone?
Yeah, very good question. Sometimes it may be forceful, and sometimes may be a little artificial. We don't need to forcefully make things impermanent, because inherently they are impermanent. Accepting that, okay, even though I love my kids, I mean, they also have various influencing factors, they also might die. Yeah, that's true. But we don't need to worry about too much. I mean, have kind of a influence, uncertainty we don't need to develop in the mind. We can, through the practice, we can understand, okay, yes, it is uncertain, they are impermanent, things are transient. I feel if the practice, or if your way of meditation, or whatever what you are doing right now makes you to develop some sort of indifference, say you don't bother about them, or you don't care about them, then that is not correct, isn't it? I mean, it's like say you are going to change, one day you are going to leave me, so I don't care much about you. So that's not correct in a way. But knowing that, okay, one day they will leave, one day I am going to die, so that's accepted, yes. But till they are with me, okay, I am looking after them, I am doing my best. That may be a more reasonable way of looking at things. But on the other hand, the development of the practice will help you to have a more mature attitude. So it will be a natural, it is not an imposed attitude. It is not that you are imposing a certain attitude onto you artificially. Rather, you are developing your practice. That practice will help you to maintain a kind of a balance between your children and your family and everything. So I think that would be more natural.
The next question, Bhante, why do we feel more exhausted or tired after the meditation retreat? I feel more tired than my day-to-day routine.
It depends on you. Now, the opposite is true for some others. You know, if you are quite relaxed, calm, and once you know the technique, once you know the art, then it's not a burden. It's no more, you are exerting effort. At the beginning, it is true. It's like a war. It's like a battle. Because many intruding thoughts are coming, you have to abandon that. Again, you need to push yourself to the object. Again, you get distracted. Again, it's coming back like a battle. But later, assume that one day you are able to be there, very quiet, very still, and even if you are enjoying that tranquility, you can enjoy that. Then you are in the hotel, you are enjoying the meal. And later in the Vipassana practice also is very similar. At the beginning it appears very difficult because you can't properly keep your attention face to face with the object, with the phenomena. You don't know the proper balance. Again you get distracted. Again you come to the object. Again you do some investigation. Again you get distracted. So still, learning part. Later, interesting thing is, the mind starts doing it. You don't need to teach much because mind know how to do it. Phenomena comes, mind itself go to that, observe that, the object may be disappear. Another new object happens, new phenomena happens, mind itself will go to that, do the investigation, the object may disappear. New object happens, mind itself come to that, do the investigation, object will disappear. So you don't need to do much. So therefore, the practice become kind of a very smooth practice at that time. So you can even spend 1 hour without getting, tired. And there may be another state that you don't need to do anything at all. So that phenomena are there, but you are independent from phenomena. That is the beauty. So probably you have heard about in the Satipatthana Sutta. So the result of any Satipatthana is to have that unassociated state of mind, non-grasping state of mind. But you can't artificially create that. You need to go through the steps, then it will arrive that. The mind will arrive that. So the phenomena are there, mind is quiet, mind is calm, mind is relaxed. It doesn't bother. Then complete relaxing. And you don't even need to sleep at night. Short sleep even would be enough. Because the mind is resting. Mind is taking a rest. So therefore, depending on our stages of our practice, so you may sometimes feel tired, but as we are learning, as we are gathering the momentum, then you feel more quiet, more relaxed, and you feel energetic.
For walking meditation, while making lifting and spacing left, lifting and spacing right, continue walking with mentally chanting Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa together with walking left and right. Is it okay?
Then complicated. The thing is, so you can practice say Buddhanussati while walking, but the exercise what we are trying to gain through the walking, the skills that we are trying to develop through walking, you won't get. So you are practicing Buddhanussati, you may develop certain amount of faith through Buddhanussati. True. You may develop certain amount of joy through Buddhanussati. True. You can do it while walking, no problem. But what are the other skills? Say mindfulness, your ability to focus your attention, properly aiming your attention, synchronizing the bodily phenomena with the mental observation. So these are the other skills that we are targeting through walking meditation. So in order to do that, so you have to go through the proper walking meditation, not taking other things into the walking practice. That's why I ask you not to even practice Anapanasati while walking. If you are practicing Anapanasati, say mindful breathing while walking, so you won't get the challenge because you are keeping your attention at the nostril. But in the walking meditation, the challenge is how are you going to keep our attention exactly when the foot is touching the ground? Next time the next foot is touching the ground, how are we going to quickly aim our attention, focus our attention to that place? So this is a skill that we are developing. That is only possible if we do it in the proper technical way.
This same person said during sitting meditation, while sitting, I breathe in rising, I breathe out falling, and I continue this way, but I am not able to focus because of many incoming thoughts, disturbances. How do I remedy it?
Yeah, it will, if you immediately try to confront thoughts, that will be difficult. So try to be with the body as much as possible. Later these intruding thoughts, whatever the distracting thoughts, become weaker and weaker. So don't try to confront them right now, because still our faculties are growing. Our hindrances are pretty strong. That's why the thoughts are coming too much. But the point is, as much as possible, I am developing body awareness. More and more attention given to the body. Later, I will succeed. Thoughts become weaker and weaker.
Bhante, the last question is on right livelihood. So, Bhante, some say to have benefit of observing 8 precepts or 10 precepts, one has to observe it at least 12 hours and preferably 24 hours. So if I want to continue these 8 precepts until next day, what are the steps I should follow? I know I can't eat. Is it okay to drink fruit juice, clear soup, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, if you need to maintain 8 precepts till the next day morning, you are allowed to take certain fruit juice with little fruits. Say, what are the things? Little fruits like mangoes, papaya, apple, grapes, so even orange. So these kind of fruit juice are allowed. What is not allowed is the staple food like rice, curries, meat. Those kind of things are not allowed. So if you want to maintain 8 precepts till the next day morning, so you can try that.
And the follow-up question is it possible to observe 8 precepts at home without coming to a temple and without guidance of a monk?
Without guidance of a monk? Yeah, you can try. Because it is you observing. So you can actually, you can go, in front of the Buddha statue. It's a kind of a ritual that you can, so that it will be more touched your heart. So you go in front of the Buddha statue, you observe the 8 precepts, then you feel, okay, I'm confident, I can do it, and you are honestly maintaining it. Even at night, you are not taking the typical meal. You may be taking maybe a fruit juice or something like that. And few things Buddha has allowed. Now, probably you might have heard about ghee, butter, then sugar, honey. So these things are allowed actually. And fruit juice, little fruits juice are also allowed. So these things are typically allowed. And say tea, coffee, those are also allowed. So medicine allowed. Only thing is heavy foods, staple foods are not allowed. And if you prefer, you can practice it and see.
That's all the questions we have, okay. Bhante. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyway, very good series of questions were there from different areas. Very interesting. Thank you very much. So as usual, we'll have the Dhamma sermon at 4:45. Right, 4:45. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. So probably you can show the timetable and you can follow the timetable.